This is the At Home with Zac
and TT for the Millwall drive home, reporting on the game that just finished at the Den. Millwall 1,
Coventry City 2.
Before we go any further, there is no getting around it. This has been the toughest of tough days for the Thomas family. My dad and Zac's grandad passed away this morning. A massive Millwall fan. It's going to be difficult to get through this. I'll try and be as unemotional as I possibly could be, but it had been watching, and you know what, everyone messaged me today. I got a lot of support. We got a lot of support on Twitter and Instagram and from family and friends, all saying I hope Millwall win for you. If you know Millwall like we know Millwall, like Dad knew Millwall, you knew damn well that when you want them to win more than anything, it's just not going to happen. That's just the team that we support. He was a Millwall man through and through. We grew up in New Cross, 2 minutes from the old Den. Used to take me. My first memories are being at the old Den. Tough times, knowing he's not going to be here anymore, but he's up there watching us. And he watched a pretty dismal performance from the Lions, in all fairness. We started with the 4-4-2 formation that we'd played in our previous two games. Obviously, Wood's coming back in, but we start with Bart in goal, Marlon Romeo right back, Murray Wallace left back, centre backs pairing of Jake Cooper and Sean Hutchinson, Jed Wallace right midfield, Mason Bennett left midfield, Ryan Woods and Sean Williams in the middle of the park, with John Daddy Woodfarson and Tom Bradshaw up front. I will say that Coventry, for the most part, looked a decent side. 7 hours without a goal. You would think that they'd have come in without confidence, but actually they were, some periods of play, they're into play, and a couple of their players, O'Hare especially, absolutely dominated us in the midfield. And they looked, for the most of the game, like they had more players on the pitch. There's no better testament. They seem to have more players in the middle, and then when it went wide, they had 3 or 4 players on each one of our Millwall players. Their work rate and effort today is what you'd want to see from a Millwall side, and that's exactly what Coventry done. And they deserved all 3 points. There's no getting around it. They're probably where they are because they can't finish for toffee. No. Because if they'd have finished their chances today, we could have conceded 8 or 9, and there's no getting around that whatsoever.
Bart was saving one. That should we go on to the goals?
No, we'll start with the first 5. Well, the goals are quite early on, but the first 5 minutes, the stall was set out. A free header in the middle of the box. Played a nice ball in from wide. I think it was Dabo got his head on it and he's missed it. And you're thinking, Jesus, like they opened us up well too easily there. A little bit of fractious for the next 10-15 minutes, but we were, completely dominated in midfield. And
everywhere else in the field as well.
And what was really disappointing is we made defensive error after defensive error. The first goal comes from a defensive error. Muzza makes a silly mistake, gets caught on it by Dabo, plays it off.
It was a lovely weighted ball.
It was
by Dabo.
Played in. The shots off the post.
It's a fantastic volley volley as well.
What, the shot?
Yeah.
Yeah, in off the post. It comes back out. Cooper finishes it in the bottom right hand corner. He tries to clear it.
Couldn't get his foot in right.
Couldn't get his feet out of the way and puts Coventry 1-0 up from a Millwall finish. And then from then, it just chance after chance after chance fell to Coventry. 25th minute, we give a stupid free kick away, absolutely unnecessarily. Then, it's a useless free kick, straight into the wall.
Literally right
into Woods midriff. It's going nowhere. Bounces straight back to the fella who hits it half decent second time round. Flicks off Jake Cooper's backside, and
which
then
Bart would have definitely saved. It was going directly at Bart.
Directly at him. The shot deflects into the bottom right hand corner, and it's 2-0. And we've gifted them 2 goals.
And it's 2 Cooper mistakes right into the same corner.
Yeah, it's mistakes, but it's mistakes by the whole defensive unit for the chances that we've given up. They've been misfinished really, but they've both fallen into the back of the net, and they deserve to be 2-0 up at that stage. 27th minute, Woods is dispossessed, which was happened too often in the central of midfield, and I'll get onto that. But he's dispossessed in the central of midfield. Fortunately, the shot straight at Bart, and another goes out for another corner. From the corner across into the centre of the box, it's a free header that and you're just thinking, eventually they're going to score. That goes over the bar. But what we were doing today is, once we had the ball in the middle of the park, neither Williams or Woods wanted to run on it. I was getting frustrated, as I always do. But
like, literally, they had 10, 20 yards of space in front of them, and they wouldn't run with the ball. They just stopped, looked for a pass, and sometimes it just went straight to their player.
We made it easy to... We look like a team we're easy to defend against, because it's the same thing. Obviously, it changes second half, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But every single time, Woods and Williams, they're 2 minutes, 2 seconds on the ball, bang, find the pass. 2 seconds, bang, find the pass. And it's a percentage pass at that. It's not even a guaranteed pass. Giving possession away far too often. And they're two players that
are comfortable with the ball, and they can run with it.
They can run with it, and they just didn't run with it time and time again. At 40th minute, another misplaced pass by Hutch. And they're in on us again. Gets through 3 of our players, through Hutch himself, through his legs, and kind of half-hearted tackles. Get another save by Bart, and you're thinking, this, honestly, it could have been 4 or 5 at that stage. Tim Murray-Wallace has a missed touch and a shot's blocked by Hutch. And like I said, just the first half was absolutely atrocious.
They were completely dominated. I bet the percentage of what's it called? Possession was about 70 to 20 to them.
First half, 71st. The first half was summed up by a Cooper, trying to get his hat trick in the first half, and he heads it straight onto the bar. And I wanted to be in that dressing room at half time, because the emotion that's flowing through us today. I probably would have given them a bit more of a kick up the backside than Rowett gave them, but. Obviously, 2 subs happen at half-time. We change formation. Malone and Parrott come on for J-Bod and Bennett. And I'll say about J-Bod and Bradshaw. Obviously, Bradshaw creates our first chance on the 55th minute. But throughout the game, they were completely ineffective. And it's pointed to the difference. The difference is, so did Budvarsson, but to no one, really.
Yeah.
The difference, we looked a different side when Zohore came on, and he absolutely changed the game for us. And I know Coventry sat back.
He come on, and we looked like a Millwall side that could have won if we started playing like that from the off.
But at 46 minutes, we didn't come out the blocks firing. Jed's dispossessed again on the edge of our box, and you're just thinking, the shot, a fantastic shot off the post, goes out, and you're thinking, wow, we're absolutely getting annihilated here.
Yeah,
and then, like I said, Bradders creates the first chance, a ball to nothing. He wins his own flick on.
It was amazing by Bradshaw.
Gets through the 3 defenders, and then puts his shot just over.
It was a weak foot, as the commentator said, but I feel like if you have a half volley like that, you've still got to hit at least on target.
Not much happened after that for a little while. Shot by Jed on the 70th minute. After good work by Zohore, like I said, he came on for Bradshaw, and we looked, like we said, we really did look like a different team. Coventry still looked dangerous on the break, and they still held the ball well, and they killed time. Really well for a team that's coming to the Den. They absolutely killed the game in the second half as much as they could.
But they would have got so much. They would have got
Millwall
so
wouldn't
much
have had
grief.
it. Millwall would, they would have got grief if we were in the ground. But Millwall wouldn't have been able to get away with it. The ref allowed them to take 30 to 40 seconds for a throw-in every single time. But they have to do it. You've got to look at it and you think they're a team struggling for wins. They're 2-0 up.
They've
got to kill the game, and what the difference is, when Millwall try and do that, we get hurried on, and the refs really getting at us.
It was us against Bristol City, basically.
Yeah, but we weren't wasting time like that. That's the difference. Like I said, we didn't get away with it. But fortunately, we get a chance. Great work by Woods. This is where I want to see him. In that cam position, he done 2 really good balls towards the end of the second half. But one brilliant ball, finds Parrott, who does a great half turn, gets himself the ball side of the defender. The defender's silly, silly challenge. He doesn't have to do it because Parrott's at a bad angle. takes him out, doesn't win the ball, and it's a
Slide
guaranteed
tackles as well.
guaranteed penalty. Upsets Jed and puts it to the bottom left-hand corner.
Brilliant penalty.
It was a good penalty, and you know, probably the only decent thing Jed done in the game, because he was pretty abysmal. Other than that,
that was really all our players though.
From then 75th, straight after the goal, another ball in from Woods. You know, a lovely chip through ball through to Parrott. But he's just offside. You know, he missed the chance anyway. It went over.
Yeah, it was a fantastic ball.
Yeah, it was a great ball by Woods, and it's what he can give you if he's playing more advanced. You know, Joel's had a shot on the 80th minute that was well saved by Bart.
Oh, and then, fantastic!
And then another thing that just summed up the game. You know, we're in our defensive half. Cooper plays a 2-yard pass to Woods, who gets dispossessed. You know, Cooper, there's no everything seems to have to go through Woods. But if he's not running with the ball, then we're just going to lose the ball. And I just don't understand. He's almost like between me and Zac distance away, Cooper.
Maybe
run on the ball.
About this distance.
Go with it. Clear it if you need to do it. But don't just pass him. And then no one tells Woods at all that there's a man right on him. He gets dispossessed. You know, the player's running through. And fortunately, Bart comes out, smothers the ball well, and it goes out for another corner.
It was another fantastic save.
But time and time again, we just defensively at the back, creating our own problems. Centre of midfield, we were, like I said, just not running with the ball when we needed to be. And then you had the two strikers when they were on, Bradshaw and Budvarsson, just not doing anything of any note.
But then Zohore come on, and then we looked different.
And also Parrott, I thought that was, you know, Parrott a couple of nice touches, put himself about. Obviously Matt Smith comes on near the end and wins a flick on for Zohore. And you just think, obviously we're struggling at that stage. We've got 3 strikers on, but we looked far better with the strikers that we had finished the game with than when we started the game. Defensively not good enough, and that's, you know, you can't afford to have those individual errors when you're not creating enough when you go forward, and a lot's going to have to change. Obviously we've got Boreham Wood in the cup next week, which, I mean, well, who knows what's going to happen, you know,
because this Millwall, we could lose 5-0 or we could win 10-0. You never know.
10-0.
I know, but it's just,
but you just never know. I think we'll leave it there. Obviously put what you think in the comments. It's not going to be very positive, is it? Because, you know, that was woeful on the pitch. I've heard people again saying Gary Rowett out. I still don't believe that is the way forward.
I think
we've just got, you know, this transfer window is massive. We've got to now
we've got to bring in one of them, maybe a good defender, maybe a fantastic striker.
I'm surprised. Well, we're not going to. That's the youth. We're not going to bring in a fantastic. But we've got decent strikers. If we can keep hold of Zohore, which would be big, because, like I said, he can make.
Fantastic player.
I wouldn't say fantastic, but he's a difference maker. But if we can get Malumbe, you know, we've got Billy Mitchell coming back. If we can get him alongside Woods or alongside Leonard, we've got far more legs in midfield and actually trying to use it. We can, you know, we've still got enough in this team and this squad to stay in the division, but we've got to play better than we did today. That's for absolute sure. We can only end it with saying, rest in peace, Dad. We love you and we're going to miss you.
Yes, very much.
But I'll tell you a little story just before I finish. That the last thing I got to say to him, because obviously he was in the hospital, I said to the doctor on the ward, if he could go up to my dad, tell him that I love him, the last thing I could say. And if he could say, no one likes us, we don't care. And I had to tell him 3 times, because he was like, what? Yeah. I said, can you say, no one likes us, we don't care? So he said he went up to him, and that was the last words that he heard from me. But the doctor said to me this morning that when he told him, that he laughed. And what more can he say?
Yeah.
We're going to end it there. No one likes us.
We don't care.